Did life come from outer space?
Well, the simple answer to that is no. The Bible tells us that God created living things here on earth on days 3, 5, and 6 of Creation Week. However, it's a popular belief in our society that life originated in outer space and was somehow transferred here to earth, or that extraterrestrial aliens somehow brought life to earth. And so what we see in our society is that people are willing to basically believe anything as long as it excludes God. So why do scientists push the origin of life into outer space? Well, there's two main reasons: complexity and time. And see, life here on Earth is very complex, and even the most primitive form of life, bacteria, are very complex. The simplest bacteria are known as endosymbiotes that live inside of other cells. And while their amount of DNA and number of genes is small, they have very complex interactions with their hosts. So even the simplest life isn't simple. The other reason is time, and so because life is so complex here on Earth, there's simply not enough time for it to have evolved through random chess processes of evolution in the supposed 4.5 billion years that the Earth has been here. Instead, scientists want to push it into outer space, which is supposedly 15 billion years old, so that there is enough time for it to have evolved and then been transferred to Earth. So does life exist in outer space? Now, if life here on Earth originated from outer space, then we should be able to find evidences of that on planets, meteors, or comets, and billions of dollars have been spent searching for life in other places. Now, there are several likely candidates for where the life could have originated, and one of the possibilities is Mars. Many unmanned explorations have been sent to Mars, and we know that water likely has been found on Mars, but water does not equal life. And many other aspects of the Martian soil, like its salinity and acidity, make it unlikely that life could have originated there. Another possibility is the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, like Europa and Titan. They're believed to have interior oceans that could have harbored bacterial life, and organic molecules have supposedly been found on these moons, and the interior oceans are believed to be very violent, providing an energy source for life. But again, water plus organic molecules plus energy does not equal life. Life requires information like DNA, and information must have an intelligent source, and the only one intelligent enough is God. Now, the next possibility are comets, and comets are believed to have liquid water interiors, and an amino acid, which is a basic unit of a protein, has been found in comet dust. But again, water plus amino acids does not equal life. So it's very unlikely that life could exist in outer space because the conditions are simply too harsh. See, life comes from life, and life requires a life giver. Now, even if life could have originated in outer space, could it have then been transferred here to Earth? And we run into the same problems. Again, the conditions in outer space are simply too harsh. The extreme cold and radiation would likely kill anything before it can make its way to Earth. Now, some people also believe that extraterrestrial intelligent aliens sent life to Earth, and the fancy term for this is directed panspermia. And Francis Crick and Leslie Orgel coined this term in a paper in 1973. And they believe that because life has evolved here on Earth, and Earth is only 4.5 billion years old, that it's very likely that life has evolved in other places in outer space because it's 15 billion years old. Now, what is their evidence for this? And they believe that the universality or the similarity of the genetic code of all living things points to a common source. But what we see is that they are using their presuppositions that their ideas about the past reign supreme to God's. If we start with the biblical presupposition, we see that the universality and similarity of the genetic code comes from the fact that we have a common designer, God, that created all living things. Now, could God have created life on other planets? Yes, but why? God spent creation week fashioning the earth and getting it ready for his crowning glory, mankind. And everything that God created is for mankind's benefit and enjoyment. Even the microscopic bacteria that we can't see are for our benefit. They form symbiotic relationships in our gut to help us digest food, and they're involved in nutrient cycling in the environment. Now, we can't rule out that God created non-intelligent life on other planets, but it seems very unlikely knowing the purpose of living things and the relationship with man here on Earth as set in place by God.